My name is Carl Stephenfall. This presentation is not at all about me, but it's important to understand my life so you can understand the impact of Jim's life. I married when I got home from Vietnam, have 4 children, and I now have 4 grandchildren. I taught high school English for 30 years, had about 3,000 students in those years, and did a lot of volunteer work and helpful stuff for others. I also saved 2 lives, both in the ocean. Jimmy was born Jame Sefrhans Jr. on 17 October 1946 in Chicago to his parents, James F. Sefrhans and Carol J. Landowski. He was followed in life by sisters Carol, called Ichi, and Bonita, called Bonnie, then a brother Raymond, who Jim called Boots, and later another brother, Bobby. Growing up in Chicago, Jim attended Spry Elementary School, McCormick Elementary, Harrison High School, and the University of Illinois in Chicago. Growing up in Chicago, he had close relationships with not only his parents and siblings, but also spent time with aunts, uncles, and cousins. Jimmy liked hockey. If someone likes hockey and comes from Chicago, he's a Blackhawks fan. And when Jimmy was a Hawks fan, guys like Bobby Hull, Dennis Hull, Stan Mikita, Camille Henry, and a young Phil Esposito were Blackhawks. By the time he grew up, Jim had lived in 8 places, all in Chicago. He often looked ahead in life and in doing so thought about what he wanted to be in life. His parents had divorced and he had trouble getting over that. He was looking for security in life to go with his traditional American values. All his life he witnessed the steadying effect of the police department. At his mom's place of business, cops from the local precinct were regulars, and he got to know some of them, including Larry Zuli's father. He decided to become a Chicago police officer. Jim's game plan was to become a police cadet. Even at a closer look, it is difficult to see him. With things as they were in the world, and the war in Vietnam expanding, Jim enlisted in the Marine Corps, putting the police department and his career on hold. Few of us expected the warm and heartfelt greetings we got at boot camp. Whether on Parris Island or San Diego, Marine Corps training is Marine Corps training. At the end of boot camp, we became Marines. The change is forever. Here's Jim's graduation platoon and the classic dress blues picture. We have an archive of the letters Jim sent home from Vietnam. They all begin with his anticipation en route to Vietnam and give an insight into both the man and the situation. Headquarters and Service Company, 1st Tank Battalion, 1st Marine Division became Jim's home after a little bouncing and Jim's request to be in a combat assignment. He was assigned to S2, Combat Intelligence, and was billeted with other Marines serving in the staff sections of battalion headquarters. Our new workmates and hut mates soon became our new friends, and not long after, our brothers. H&S Marines had day jobs. At night, we manned perimeter security bunkers, or went out through the wire on patrols through local villas, or set up ambush sites, or were assigned to listening posts along the river, or stood by as a reaction force, or responded as a reaction force. We rode on the outside of our tanks. The truth is, we also got a night off about every fourth day. First Tanks had it as its TAOR, the southern sector of I Corps. That meant several things to us. One, just as we had been told and trained at boot camp and ITR, each Marine, every Marine, was first a rifleman. Second, we were called into that role quite regularly. Every combat operation, named or not, that was deemed to need additional troops was cause for us to leave our day jobs, leave our night assignments, and become grunts. Big operation reports most often admitted that we were an additional platoon, a blocking force, a search and destroy unit, but we were there. If and when we had time to be together, we did what most families do. We spent time together. We even got an afternoon off to go to China Beach. That was our life.
In that land, our freedom will start slipping through our hands.
As the Chinese Lunar New Year approached in January of 1968, there were intelligent reports of impending enemy action, as there had been the previous 10. Preparations were made and security was increased, but we had done all this before. I'm not sure anyone knew for certain what was about to happen. What we now call the Tet Offensive came with their indigenous New Year, but it was nothing like fireworks. There were multiple assaults throughout the sector, every sector. Within 24 hours, all knew by its ferocity that this would be an unparalleled series of battles. All were on high alert. Everyone carried his weapon, wore his helmet, wore his flak jacket. Daily guard duty and security assignments grew more and more ominous. The assignments to outposts, listening posts, and bridge security details weighed more and more heavily on our minds. At that time, Joe Vernon, Gary Felix, Sefrhans, and I had flight dates home, soon. On the morning of 6 February 1968, H&S Marines received their assignments for that night. I was to be the platoon sergeant of the reaction team that night for the southern sector. Jame Sefrhans came up to me and asked my assignment. I told him and asked his. Perimeter security, he said. Then he added, "Do you want to switch?" I had 3 days and a wake-up. Yeah, thanks, Seth. Yankee 5-2 was assigned at OP Bear. There were Alpha tanks on the Tuilone Bridge. Security was beefed up on the Cow Doe Bridge. And perimeter security was heavy around the battalion CP. That night, ARVN soldiers approached the Marines at Tuilone Bridge, reporting a heavy NVA presence nearby. They asked if the tanks be moved to their position not far away. The tanks, of course, remained, but the ARVN request for help was forwarded to HQ. All hell broke. Tuilone Bridge came under heavy mortar and rocket attack. NVA regulars engaged the ARVNs at nearby Tuilone. Yankee 5-2 at Bear saw clearly the launch site of the mortars and called it permission to fire. Denied. The reaction force, reinforced and operating as an infantry platoon, was dispatched from HQ to support the ARVNs at nearby Tuiloneville. Yankee 5-2's TC, Will Collins, and the Alpha tanks continue to be denied permission to fire as they identified viable enemy targets. The reaction force arrived on scene and advanced towards the concealed enemy positions. They were quickly hit with an overwhelming assault, taking multiple casualties. Witnesses recounted Jim's actions that fateful night.
I saw Sergeant Sefrhans kneeling beside a wounded Marine. He was out in front and in the open, helping wounded Marines.
Sergeant Sefrhans reacted immediately by going to administer first aid to his wounded men. He selflessly carried on without regard for his own safety.
Sergeant Sefrhans began at once, treating casualties in an open field, in spite of enemy fire with 2 machine guns and other automatic weapons. He continued to expose himself to fire, treating 2 wounded Marines and dressing the wounds of a third when he was struck.
Jim was posthumously awarded the Bronze Star for his valiant actions, which was presented along with the Purple Heart to his father. The Sefrhans family was devastated. For me, for all Jim's Marine Corps brothers, for all of us here and now, and forever, Jame Sefrhans was a Marine's Marine. His Bronze Star citation reads, "Sergeant Sefrhans' resolute courage, bold initiative, and unwavering devotion to duty were in keeping with the highest traditions of the Marine Corps." As it says in John 15:13, "No greater love has this than a man lay down his life for his friend."